Make sure you're recording. You gotta say your name, buddy.
Zach Taylor.
Ralph Bennett.
Tessa Gray. Amelia Gray.
And Mom's behind the camera.
Alright, right now in this moment, over 200 animals are dying. They're dying a very slow and painful death due to animal testing. It's legal, there's nothing stopping it. At this moment, animals testing shows us nothing. Animals are different species than human. Their anatomy is different, they metabolize different, and also eliminate toxins different than humans. Therefore, we are testing on defenseless creatures while it's unreliable and unethical. She's fine. Today I'm going to talk to you about the horrific events that are part of animal testing, why it's not scientifically reliable, and what we can do to help stop it. That is, if you're willing to fight for them. We're going to start off by hearing some of the horror stories, at least in my opinion, that's what they are. Animal testing is used by cosmetic brands, soap and fragrance companies, and even some household cleaning companies. More often than not, the animals that are tested on live a long and miserable life until they finally had one too many tests. According to the Humane Society International, animals used in experiments are often subject to the following conditions, which is force feeding, inhalation, food and water deprivation, prolonged periods of physical restraint, infliction or burns or other wounds, infliction of pain to study medicine effects and remedies, and lastly, death by carbon dioxide asphyxiation, broken neck, decapitation, or other means. A commonly used test by cosmetic brands is the Dre's eye test. This test is normally run to study the irritation caused in the eyes by certain cosmetic brands, soaps, any kind of fragrance. It is based off of an LD50 is what they call the test. It's lethal dose 50. They run the test until 50% of the test subjects have died. In this test, they pin open the animal's eyes. Most of the time it's a rabbit. Their eyes are clipped open and the product's applied until they just can't take it, just so that they can't get it off, they can't ruin it. According to the USDA, it was reported that in 2016, animals suffered during experiments when they were given no anesthesia or pain medicine in this procedure. Most tests are flawed, resulting in the unnecessary death of many animals. They can be flawed by blatant fraud, poor control groups, or incorrect data. Although the Animal Welfare Act is in place, it has not succeeded in preventing horrific cases of animal abuse. Federal violations began in Louisiana at the New Iberia Research Center, where primates were kept so malnourished they began suffering severe psychiatric problems, including self-mutilation and inability to sleep. In this center, chimps were also constantly intimidated and shot with dart guns repeatedly. At the University of California at Davis Center for Neuroscience, 3 baby mice were found in a sealed plastic bag alive and left there to die. Animal testing has led to many life-saving cures and treatments, on the other hand. Due to that being said, animals also suffer like humans, therefore it is speciesism to test on them while we refrain from testing on humans. To be fair, a few examples are discovery of insulin by removing the pancreas, the hepatitis B vaccine, and advances with many cancers, although they have not found a cure. Although they have saved many humans, it is not justifiable how many animals have died due to this being an unreliable form of testing. It is still considered to be scientifically unreliable due to body structure and functions being different than a human. There are many anatomic, metabolic, and cellular differences between us. Paul Furlong, the professor of clinical neuroimaging at Aston University in the UK, states that it is very hard to create an animal module that even equates closely to what we're trying to achieve in the human. Not only are our organ structures different, our drug responses vary greatly. Penicillin is toxic to guinea pigs, aspirin is poisonous to cats, a recalled diet drug, Fenfrin, caused humans heart damage where it didn't harm the animals. Dr. Richard Klauser, former director of the National Cancer Institute, stated, "We have cured cancer in mice for decades, and it simply doesn't work in humans still." He also goes on to explain that out of 80 HIV vaccinations proven safe and effective for chimpanzees have all failed to protect humans in over 200 clinical trials. Another failed animal-safe drug was the arthritis drug Vox, which caused nearly 60,000 deaths in the U.S. alone in 2007. Another factor that affects data and the environment, as we previously talked about, is they live in horrible conditions. Therefore, they already have a weakened immune system and nervous system. Just as a human would not do well when dehydrated, sleep deprived, or scared out of their mind. After hearing just the basics of animal testing, I'm going to teach you what you can do to help. That is, if you want to. There are many efforts going on in today's world in an effort to stop animal testing, from how you shop to lifestyle choices and petitions on what you hear. Always buy cruelty-free products. There are many apps you can use to check the products, sign on online petitions, even when you just see it on Facebook, most of them are real. Donate to test animal rescue groups. They go to many animal testing sites and rescue the animals that have been there the longest. You can also quit smoking. Forced inhalation tests are used on dogs and pregnant chimps. Smoking is the biggest factor in that. And donate your own body to science when you die. By the show of hands, how many of you think after this that animal testing is wrong? How many of you would be willing to actually do something for these animals without a voice? Who are you fighting for? The companies who make money on torturing and killing them, or the animals that somehow got drug into this?